I think in April, when VIX was sustainably below 20, for almost the whole month, I think actually, unfortunately, that was the head fake. And the reality is we have not moved to a low volatility regime yet. And part of the reason is as long as we continue to get economic volatility, we're going to get real volatility. And, with kind of the data points that are coming through with inflation and this giant experiment we're in right now, I don't really see how we go back to that low realized volatility environment for a while. In particular, when you look at other crisis periods, it takes 3 to 4 years for volatility to normalize. I think people thought that the pandemic was going to speed this along quicker. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I try to avoid a lot of jargon on this program. It's just too doggone early for that, Amy Wu Silverman. But I did use the term gamma hedging last week. Shame on me. And I saw some stats where the May options expiry week, so the week of options expiry in May, i.e. this week, tends to be negative the last few years. How much are sort of wonky or option strategies? We always try to find this basic answer in TV, Amy. Here's why stocks are down. Some of this is options.
Yep. Absolutely. And look, I will tell you, there were points in time during this pandemic where I think people were very skeptical, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that it was options. This is what happened to tech and momentum in August of 2020 and January 2021. I think blaming options specifically now probably isn't fully the correct answer. Look, options always on the margin are going to contribute. But just looking at sheer volume size and the contracts and the open interest, that's not going to be your main factor right now. Although, the gamma situation you're talking about has really, really mattered in the past for some of these names that I know everyone cares about. So we're talking the Teslas, the Apples, just mega cap tech. And we look at the kind of bid to the out of the money calls, which drives a lot of this positive momentum. That's really dropped as a stone. And a lot of that came from retail option buying demand that really has gone away. So unfortunately, I think you have to find something to blame going forward unless that changes.
Well, maybe we blame the stock that we just showed, which is Tesla. I'm not blaming the company or Elon Musk, Amy. What I'm saying is I had a contact of mine tell me, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, pre-pandemic, and I said it on this show. He's a big prop desk trader. He said Tesla's not important to the stock market. In some ways, it is the stock market because there were so many different positions, derivatives, Delta One strategies, whatever, you name it, based in and around the equity or the options. Maybe that's a bit of an overstatement, but how much does Tesla matter to the market?
I actually think it matters a lot, and it's starting to matter more. And part of the reason is it's now just in the S&P. Yep. So since its inclusion, you can't really talk about the index without also thinking about that. Obviously, its weight isn't that large yet, but people are forced to track it along with the inclusion. One thing I'll say is Tesla has sort of always been a psychological bogey for people. And, it's like you say Tesla, but really in reality, you have the whole breadth of crypto in there too, as well as momentum. And so, as that falls, people wonder in general about the style rotation, about where value is going versus growth. I'll tell you one thing, there's a point in time where Tesla's out of the money call options were so bid that the implied volatilities were greater than that of the puts. That's highly unusual. That's gotten back to normal. But the reality is, when it was so overbid like that, you actually don't want to short something like Tesla because that gamma we talked about comes into play, that positive momentum. Whereas now, in reality, it's a lot safer with the puts expensive because that positive momentum is not there as much as it was in the past.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.